We've learned a lot today about the shooting at Evergreen High School yesterday, about the shooter and his motivation, about one of his young victims, and about the school resource officer who wasn't there that day. And we have also learned about what we can do together to support the Evergreen community and youth mental health more broadly in Jefferson County. 18-year-old Matthew Silverstone is one of the two students shot by a classmate this week. Matthew's family shared this photo with a brief statement and appreciation of the community's support and asking for privacy as they focus on his recovery. We don't know if Matthew is the victim in the critical condition or the victim with non-life-threatening injuries. Investigators are identifying the shooter, who ultimately died by suicide, as 16-year-old Desmond Holley. Sheriff's office says their investigation suggests that he was radicalized by what they called a quote-unquote extremist network, and that it appeared he was on a mission to kill classmates. They described him shooting his handgun several places around the school, reloading multiple times. One of the victims turned up at a rec center just south of campus. The other victim was found on the far northeast side of school property, where investigators say the shooter then turned the gun on himself. Students had run in every direction to hide at the rec center, at the library, at homes nearby. Today, investigators praised the school's quick lockdown for saving lives by blocking the shooter's access to various areas where students were sheltering.
We know that the suspect had a handgun. He had to keep reloading. He would fire and reload, fire and reload, fire and reload. This went on and on. And as he did that, he tried to find new targets. And he came up against a roadblock on many of those doors. He couldn't get to those kids.
Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says their officers were on the scene within 2 minutes of the first calls for help. That response did not include the school's resource officer. Today, we learned that the SRO usually assigned to Evergreen High is currently on medical leave. The night before the shooting, there was a PTA meeting where parents expressed concern about the lack of a full-time SRO. Our Mark Salinger joins us after speaking with the parent who led that meeting. Mark?
Yeah, Kyle, it's crucial to note that we don't know if having an SRO here at Evergreen High School could have prevented what happened here on Wednesday. But today, like you mentioned, we found out that SROs are shared amongst schools here in Jefferson County and here in areas like Evergreen. And at Evergreen High School, the night before this shooting, there was a meeting here discussing just that topic.
I woke up this morning and was like, when I was opening my eyes, please let this just have been a nightmare.
As Cindy Majeka comes to terms with what happened at her daughter's school this week, she thinks back to the Parent-Teacher-Student Association meeting on Tuesday night.
A mom sitting next to me said directly to Dr. Artis, why does Evergreen High School not have an SRO? Another parent asked, what if there's a shooting?
Cindy is the PTSA president at Evergreen High School. The meeting minutes published on the PTSA's website show the school principal responded to the parents' questions about SROs. Principal Artis said the mountain schools have been deprioritized and resources are shared. She said we were deprioritized because we were a small mountain town with less crime than the schools down the hill with SROs.
I don't think a lot of parents know about this. Even as a PTA president, I didn't know about this.
We reached out to Jeffco Public Schools asking about the SRO policy for mountain schools, but did not hear back. On Thursday, the Sheriff's Office provided some clarity.
Evergreen High School used to have a full-time SRO. That SRO is on medical leave right now, so it's a shared duty.
The Sheriff's Office says the SRO stationed at the school earlier that morning rotates between other schools. A couple hours before the shooting, they were dispatched to help with a car crash nearby.
The SRO that was sharing responsibility of Evergreen High School is allowed to come and go. He can go to lunch. He might have to handle something in the parking lot, and he might be covered on something that's happening in the neighborhood.
Sheriff's deputies and first responders say they arrived at the school within 2 minutes of the first 911 calls and located the shooter within 5 minutes of the dispatch. We have no idea if having a school resource officer at the school on Wednesday would have prevented what happened.
The people that were at the meeting were texting me, we just talked about this last night. We just did. And it was eerie and almost as if, did we jinx this?
A meeting where the worst case scenario was brought up. The night before, it became a reality.
We still will ask to protect our students. It doesn't matter if you live down the hill or up here. Everybody needs to be protected. All of our kids need to be protected.
According to those meeting minutes from the PTSA website, it shows that the principal here at Evergreen High School recommended that the PTA members go to the Jeffco Board of Education and advocate for a full-time SRO at the next Board of Education meeting. The PTSA president, Cindy, there tells me that they still plan to do that, Kyle.
And Mark, as you alluded to right off the top, I mean, we should just come right out and say that in Colorado's sad history of school shootings, we have seen instances where SROs were crucial in stopping shooters. We have seen other instances in which it honestly did not matter at all because it happens so quickly or it happens at another part of a large campus. But it all does fall into how families feel safe around schools. Mark Salinger, thank you so much. So our first thoughts after these school shootings are always with the students and their families, the teacher and the staff. Can't forget the first responders. In this case, they rushed toward danger to save lives, only to then witness the shooter, a young person himself, taking his own life. Our Angeline McCall spoke with an organization looking to help people heal after crisis.
After the Evergreen school shooting Wednesday, the people who have been through this before wanted to help.
A lot of times when things like this happen in a school or a district, you don't know what you don't know. So until you've been through it. Knowing that we've been through it, we can help with those pieces.
Shauna Fritzler with the DeAngelis Center Foundation knew she had to do something.
We're going to jump in and help with whatever's asked of us as we can.
For the nonprofit, it meant implementing crisis counseling for those impacted by the school shooting in Evergreen.
It has become very, very difficult. So in the last few years, the economy is in a strange place right now. Donations are certainly not coming as regularly as they were in the past.
She quickly crowdsourced for funds, knowing first responders and others need that help right now.
You'll think about those first responders who saw things that they shouldn't have seen. So, and those children who saw things that they shouldn't have seen. And that should be our primary focus.
You don't know why you're put in this position, but if I could help, I'll do whatever I can.
The nonprofit is named after the former principal from Columbine High School, Frank DeAngelis. 26 years later, another school shooting in the same district.
It just brings back a lot, you know, we're all part of it. And, you know, Evergreen, I can't tell you how many times I heard yesterday this wonderful this community, you would not think it would happen. And takes me back. If you would have told me at Columbine could have happened at Columbine, you know, 26 years ago, I would have said no, it couldn't. And unfortunately, it continues to happen, but we got to make it stop.
He'll help in the ways he can with another community, grieving with students and staff. The DeAngelis Foundation Center will do the same.
Needs in a community, we've had so many incidents, unfortunately, in Jeffco. The needs will continue for some time, years down the road.
Shauna says that it has been harder to get grants, not only for their nonprofit, but many others with changes in funding, federal programs, and so forth. Kyle.
Just so grateful that they're there, that they are a resource. Angeline, thank you very much. As soon as it was clear what happened at Evergreen High School, I heard from a number of you asking how you could help, specifically where you might donate to be of assistance to the community. And to be honest with you, it's not yet clear what the Evergreen community's needs are going to be. But there is a way for us to support both Evergreen in the short term and to support youth mental health in Jefferson County with any additional dollars that we might raise. That's why this week's Word of Thanks Microgiving campaign supports the Jefferson Center for Mental Health. Their clinicians and staff are in Evergreen today, spread out at locations across the community for anybody who needs to talk. And they will be there in the coming days as Evergreen sorts out what the community wants and needs in terms of support and care, short, medium, long term. The Jefferson Center will use our donations to support their work in Evergreen, as well as their work supporting the mental health of children across Jefferson County. They offer various types of therapy to help kids tackle their anxiety and depression. They work in schools on counseling and crisis response, and their trauma systems therapy team helps young people heal after tragedy. Scan the QR code on your screen or text the word THANKS to 303-871-1491 to get that link to donate. Your 5 years of microgiving raising $16 million for Colorado proves how $5 donations add up. You know I never ask you to give a loan. I'll match the first 50 donations of $5 to get us rolling. Nearly 6,000 of you have signed up to make a monthly donation to the Word of Thanks Fund. You put in your info once, and each month your donations automatically split among all the nonprofits we feature, so you help everybody. that's added an additional $35,000 to recent weekly microgiving campaigns. When we return, the latest on the search for Charlie Kirk's killer, and I will have a word about free speech and violence in America. And a reminder of the power of kindness to change the lives of our neighbors. That's next. "24 years ago today, America witnessed horrific terrorism, and America came together in a way that frankly, I'm not certain that we would if we were faced with the same today. Each year on 9/11, groups in Denver organize events honoring and remembering the nearly 3,000 people who lost their lives in the terrorist attacks. One of those gatherings is the Memorial Stair Climb at Red Rocks. Coloradans remember and pay tribute by climbing the equivalent of the 110 stories of the World Trade Center. The climb each year raises money for the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation.
Well, we've had isolated rain showers all across the state of Colorado today, and that'll stay in the forecast. You can see this flow of moisture just flowing up from the southwest, and this will be fairly continuous for about the next 24 hours. We'll have rain chances continuous. So we do have a flood watch that goes all the way until tomorrow night. The western slope and southwest corner, they're looking at some pretty heavy rain showers. In particular, worried about the burn scars, but anywhere we can get some heavy rain showers and a flash flood potential. Temperatures will be on the cooler side once again here through the western slope and the mountains tomorrow, and a bit of a break for us here on the Front Range as well, with temperatures in the low 80s. When you look at your Denver forecast for the next 7 days, we'll keep isolated rain chances in the forecast through the weekend, while the temperatures stay seasonal to cool for the next 7 days.
A bit more than 24 hours after Charlie Kirk was shot and killed on a college campus in Utah, investigators are still looking for his killer. He was shot in the neck yesterday as he was debating students at Utah Valley University. Investigators believe the suspect used a high-powered rifle and fired a shot from the roof of a nearby building. They then believe the suspect ran off through a neighborhood. The FBI has released a photo of a person of interest. We should note 2 people were already detained as potential persons of interest and then released. Leaders from both sides of the political aisle have condemned the shooting as an unconscionable act of political violence. Republican Representative Lauren Boebert from Colorado even likened Kirk's shooting to a presidential assassination.
Charlie Kirk absolutely was a leader in our movement, and for millions of Americans, I mean, this is as close to as our president being assassinated as you can get.
House Speaker Mike Johnson says congressional security is now under review after legislators expressed concern about their own personal safety at political events. Today, police responded to a bomb threat at the Democratic National Committee headquarters in Washington. Nothing was found. If a person in America can be killed for the words they say, then any person in America can be killed for the words they say. Once it becomes acceptable to kill someone for their speech, for participating in politics, then we have unleashed a force we cannot control, a force that will strike out in every direction at any American. There are countries like that. We don't want to live in a country like that. We want to live in a country where someone like Charlie Kirk can speak his mind, making some people cheer and other people scream in anger, and if they want, they can meet his speech with speech of their own, and then everyone goes home safe to their families. That's how America's supposed to work. Words can hurt, words can harm, words can cause fear, but words are different than physical violence. And this country has long recognized that even harmful speech is worth protecting, because speech is an alternative to violence. Cheering the rise in political violence, be it the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, the killing of a Democratic legislator in Minnesota, the murder of Charlie Kirk, celebrating or excusing that political violence is an invitation to bloodshed on a scale that we cannot imagine. It's an invitation to war between Americans. Too many of America's leaders at this moment seem incapable of leading us toward de-escalation. There is power and profit in a darker path. But let's not wait for them to lead. Let's start with ourselves and our neighbors. Not by disagreeing less. We should disagree all we want. It's our right as Americans. But then, let us each take the opportunity to remind each other we're not enemies. We're neighbors who disagree. disagreements that begin and end with words, and words alone. When we come back, we continue our week of remembrances of our friend and colleague Corky Scholl, with one of the most beautiful stories he has ever told here on Next, a story about human kindness. This week, we could certainly use more human kindness. And one of the kind humans we've been fortunate to meet here on Next is a Coloradan named DJ Valdez. He invited us along for his annual tradition where he holds a sign on a street corner in memory of his late sister Sarah, just a way to encourage people to be good to one another. Our photojournalist and friend Corky Scholl, who died recently at the age of 48, went out to that street corner in 2022 to meet DJ. DJ told us today, quote, "Corky was an incredible human being. He helped me quite a bit that day, and I am forever grateful for him. We are too."
A lot of waves, smiles, people just being grateful, you know? My name is DJ Valdez. I am out here paying tribute to my one of my sisters who happened to pass away about 5 years ago to an accidental prescription overdose. Her name was Sarah. She was friends with everybody. I don't think anybody ever had something bad to say about her, and she didn't have any enemies. So I decided to do something that I know she would want me to do, which is make other people happy. You know, I didn't really get an opportunity to tell her everything I wanted to before she passed, so I just want to make sure everybody else out here knows that they're loved.
Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah.
And you are too.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
It's hot.
It is. Oh, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. I want to just make sure people understand that before they go home, whether somebody's having a bad day, maybe somebody didn't grow up in the right household, maybe somebody feels by themselves, and I just want to make sure that they, no matter what's going on in their life, that they know there's somebody out there.
I know many of us want to do whatever we can to help the Evergreen community heal after the school shooting there. And at this early point, it's not clear what the needs of that community are going to be. But I know that the desire to help is there. So I found a way for us to help in the short term and also support the mental health of young people in Jefferson County long term. The nonprofit Jefferson Center for Mental Health has been around for decades. They have their teams working in Evergreen now, today. This week's Word of Thanks Microgiving campaign is going to support their work in Evergreen. Then any additional dollars we raise beyond the needs of that community are going to support their extensive programs to support youth mental health across Jeffco. So scan the QR code on your screen or text the word THANKS to 303-871-1491 to join me and a bunch of other Coloradans in supporting the work being done right now by the Jefferson Center. Stephen Broomfield writes in to say, "I have been a monthly donor to Word of Thanks for more than a year now. I have yet to see one of your partners that I would have not wholly supported, including Jeffco." That means a lot, Steve, and it's because of great partners like the Jefferson Center that we're willing to have a conversation today about how we all can help.